Hello, senior citizen. If you're over 60, what you eat matters more than ever. Your body isn't working the same way it did in your 30s or 40s. Digestion slows down, your liver clears toxins more slowly, and your immune system takes longer to recover from food-related illness. That's why it's important to be more selective, especially with seafood. Seafood can be one of the healthiest things on your plate, or it can quietly cause harm without you noticing right away. Some fish are loaded with mercury, antibiotics, or hidden preservatives that can mess with your memory, raise your blood pressure, or upset your stomach for days. On the flip side, there are certain fish that are packed with clean nutrients that support your heart, joints, brain, and even your energy levels. I've seen many seniors come into the clinic thinking they're eating healthy just because they're having fish, but not all fish are equal. For example, swordfish can affect brain health due to its high mercury content, while wild salmon can help with memory and inflammation. In this video, we'll go over the 4 seafoods you should completely avoid, and the 4 you should definitely include in your diet. I'll break down why each one matters, what to look out for at the store, and how to make better choices without overcomplicating things. Take your health seriously. The smallest changes in your diet can make the biggest difference at this stage in life. Watch until the end so you don't miss anything important. Now let's dive into it. The 4 worst seafoods seniors over 60 should never touch. Number 1, swordfish, mercury bomb that attacks your brain. Let's talk honestly for a moment. You may have been told that eating fish is good for your brain and heart, and in many cases that's true. But here's what they often leave out. Not all fish are safe, especially for those over 60. One of the biggest threats hiding in plain sight is swordfish. It may look healthy and taste great grilled or seared, but underneath that firm, white flesh is a serious health risk for seniors. Swordfish contains some of the highest mercury levels found in any fish. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, swordfish ranks among the top offenders when it comes to mercury contamination, FDA 2023. Mercury is a heavy metal. It doesn't just pass through your system, it builds up over time, especially in the brain. And here's where it gets dangerous. As you age, your body loses some of its ability to detoxify. Your liver doesn't process toxins as efficiently. Your brain becomes more vulnerable to damage. If you're over 60, your risk for cognitive decline, memory loss, and coordination problems naturally increases. Mercury exposure makes it worse. Studies published in journals like Neurotoxicology and Environmental Health Perspectives have shown that mercury interferes with nerve function, slows down reaction time, and even contributes to early symptoms of dementia. That means something as simple as a grilled swordfish steak could be speeding up the very problems you're trying to avoid. Let's bring it home. I had a patient, 67 years old, who was active, sharp, and doing everything right, or so he thought. He ate swordfish once or twice a week, thinking he was helping his heart. But he started forgetting small things, where he parked, names of people he knew well. His blood tests showed elevated mercury levels. Once we removed swordfish and similar high mercury fish from his diet, his memory began to improve. It was a wake-up call. So here's my advice. If you're over 60, cut swordfish out completely. There are better, safer choices that still give you all the benefits of seafood without putting your brain at risk. Your memory, coordination, and independence are too important to gamble with. Stay informed. Watch the rest of the video because we're just getting started. There are other fish to avoid and a few powerful ones you absolutely should eat. Number 2, farmed tilapia omega-6, overload that fuels inflammation. Let's have a real conversation, one that most people, including many doctors, are not having with seniors. You've probably heard that fish is a healthy choice, and yes, it can be. But not all fish are created equal. One fish in particular has been quietly doing more harm than good for years, especially to people over 60. I'm talking about farmed tilapia. Now, on the surface, tilapia seems like a safe, affordable option. It's easy to cook, low in calories, and widely available. But here's the hidden truth. Most farmed tilapia today is loaded with omega-6 fatty acids and very little omega-3, the exact opposite of what your body needs at this stage of life. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in farmed tilapia can be as high as 11:1 compared to wild salmon, which sits closer to a balanced 1:1, Weaver et al., 2008. Why does that matter? Because omega-6 in high amounts is a major trigger for inflammation. And inflammation is not just about sore joints. It's at the root of nearly every chronic disease we see in seniors: heart disease, arthritis, memory loss, and even dementia. If you already live with stiffness in your knees, achy hands, or swelling in your ankles, tilapia might be making it worse. I had a patient, 72 years old, who told me proudly that he ate fish almost every day. But he couldn't figure out why his joint pain was getting worse. He had replaced red meat with farmed tilapia, thinking it was a healthier choice. When we looked at his diet and swapped the tilapia out for cleaner, anti-inflammatory fish like wild salmon or sardines, the difference was obvious within weeks. Less pain, better energy, even clearer thinking. At this age, you cannot afford to fill your body with the wrong fats. Your body processes food more slowly, and the effects, good or bad, show up faster. Tilapia might save money at checkout, but your joints, heart, and brain will eventually pay the full price. Number 3, imitation crab, a lab-created disaster. Masquerading as seafood. Let me be straight with you. Imitation crab is not seafood. It may look like crab, taste a little like crab, and even be labeled as crab sticks or seafood snack in the store. But what you are actually eating is a highly processed product made in a factory, not something that came from the ocean. And if you're over 60, this stuff can do more harm than you think. So what's really inside imitation crab? It starts with a ground-up white fish paste called surimi, which is often made from cheap fish like pollock. Then manufacturers mix in starch, sugar, vegetable oils, MSG, artificial flavorings, and food dyes to create the texture and flavor of real crab. The final product is then pressed into sticks and packaged to look appealing. Here's the real concern. As we age, our bodies do not detoxify as efficiently. Your liver works slower, your digestive lining becomes more sensitive, and your blood sugar becomes harder to control. All those additives in imitation crab, especially monosodium glutamate, MSG, and refined starches, can cause blood sugar spikes, fatigue, and even brain fog. A 2019 study in Nutrients highlighted how excessive food additives in processed seafood products are linked to metabolic disorders and inflammation. Nutrients, 2019. I had an older patient who thought she was making a healthy switch from red meat to seafood. She would throw imitation crab into her salads and eat it with rice 2 or 3 times a week. But over time, she noticed bloating, poor sleep, and random blood sugar crashes. When we removed imitation crab and added clean protein options like wild salmon or even canned sardines, her symptoms eased up quickly. Another hidden danger is how imitation crab affects the gut lining. The synthetic additives can irritate the digestive system, especially in seniors who may already have weakened gut barriers. That means more inflammation, more discomfort, and higher risk for conditions like leaky gut or irritable bowel symptoms. Here's the takeaway. If you're aiming to eat smarter after 60, skip anything pretending to be real food. Imitation crab is an artificial trick that fools your eyes and taste buds, but your body knows the truth. In this video, we'll show you what to eat instead: real, clean seafood that nourishes your body and protects your health. Stay with me. This matters. Number 4, imported shrimp cocktail of antibiotics, parasites, and filth. Let's not sugarcoat this. Imported shrimp, especially the cheap kind, is one of the dirtiest foods you can put on your plate. It may look clean, pink, and tasty after it's cooked, but behind that shine is a disturbing truth that many people, especially seniors, are never told. The shrimp industry, particularly in countries like India, Vietnam, and Thailand, has a long history of cutting corners to boost profits. These shrimp are often farmed in overcrowded, polluted ponds, where disease spreads easily. To keep them alive long enough to harvest, producers load them up with antibiotics, many of which are banned in the United States. A 2020 report from Consumer Reports found imported shrimp to be one of the most likely seafood products to contain antibiotic residues, filth, and even harmful bacteria like Vibrio and Salmonella. Now here's where it gets serious for you. If you're over 60, your immune system is no longer working at full strength. Your gut may be more sensitive. Your body doesn't bounce back as quickly from foodborne illness. That means eating just a few contaminated shrimp can lead to weeks of gut trouble, painful inflammation, or even hospital visits. And it gets worse. The FDA only inspects about 2% of all imported seafood. That means the other 98% slips through without proper testing. Yes, you read that right. so unless you know exactly where your shrimp is coming from, you're taking a serious risk. I had a patient, 68 years old, who told me he ate shrimp regularly, frozen bags from the supermarket marked "Product of India." He thought he was eating light and healthy, but he started experiencing constant bloating, low energy, and random fevers. Stool tests revealed he had picked up a gut parasite that likely came from poorly handled seafood. We traced it back to those imported shrimp. Here's my advice. If the shrimp is imported and cheap, leave it alone. Go for wild-caught shrimp from trusted waters like the Gulf of Mexico or Pacific Northwest. It may cost more, but it's your health on the line, not just your dinner. This is not about fear, it's about facts. Stick with me in this video because we're not only exposing the worst seafoods, but we're also going to show you the best ones to protect your brain, heart, and energy after 60. The 4 must-eat seafoods for seniors over 60. Number 5, wild-caught salmon brain armor in a fillet. Let's talk about a food that truly earns the title of superfood, especially if you're over 60, wild-caught salmon. This isn't just a healthy option, it's one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your brain, joints, and overall vitality as you age. First, wild salmon is packed with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These are essential fats that your brain depends on to function properly. As you get older, your brain naturally starts to shrink and lose connections. But studies from journals like Neurology have shown that regular intake of omega-3s can slow brain aging by up to 2 years and may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's by 30%, Neurology 2014, but that's not all. Wild salmon also contains astaxanthin, a natural red pigment found in algae that salmon eat in the wild. Astaxanthin is one of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet. It protects your cells from damage, supports eye health, and reduces inflammation without the side effects of synthetic supplements. You cannot get this same benefit from farmed salmon, which is usually fed artificial pellets instead of natural marine food. Then there's the vitamin D factor. Many seniors are low in vitamin D without even realizing it. This vitamin plays a huge role in bone strength, mood, and immune health. Just 1 serving of wild salmon gives you well over your daily requirement. That's food doing what medicine often can't. Now let me share a quick example. A patient of mine in her early 70s was dealing with brain fog, low energy, and stiff knees. She had stopped eating fish because of concerns over mercury and farmed seafood. Once we introduced clean wild-caught salmon back into her meals 2 to 3 times a week, the change was incredible. Her thinking became clearer, her joint pain eased, and even her skin looked better. Just make sure you're buying wild-caught, not farmed. Farmed salmon is often loaded with chemicals, antibiotics, and inferior fats. Look for labels like wild Alaskan salmon or sockeye to be safe. This is one of the few foods that actually feeds your brain and body at the same time. Stick with me because up next we'll look at even more seafoods that heal and others you absolutely need to avoid. Number 6. Sardines, nature's multivitamin with bones. Let's talk about one of the most underrated foods in the world, sardines. They're small, humble, and usually come in a can, but don't let their size fool you. Sardines are one of the most complete, nutrient-dense foods you can eat, especially if you're over 60. First of all, sardines are low on the food chain, which means they don't live long enough to accumulate heavy metals like mercury. That makes them a much safer choice than larger fish like tuna or swordfish. For seniors, that's a big win because your body becomes more sensitive to toxins as you age, and it takes longer to flush them out. Now let's look at what sardines give you. Calcium is a major one, and here's why that matters. As you get older, your bones naturally lose density. It happens quietly. You don't feel it until the day you fracture a wrist or hip from something as simple as a fall. Sardines are one of the very few foods that come with edible bones, which are packed with absorbable calcium. 1 small can of sardines gives you almost half your daily calcium needs, but they don't stop there. Sardines also contain vitamin D, which helps your body absorb that calcium and keep your bones strong. They're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids to support brain and heart health, and vitamin B12 for energy and nerve function. That's why I call them nature's multivitamin in a can, because they give you a bit of everything your body needs. I had a patient in his late 60s who came in with brittle nails, low energy, and early signs of osteopenia. He was tired of taking 5 different supplements every morning. When we added sardines to his diet just twice a week, his blood work showed improvement within 3 months. He felt stronger, had better digestion, and didn't need to rely so heavily on pills. And the best part? Sardines are affordable, easy to store, and ready to eat. Just rinse them, mix into a salad, or spread on whole grain toast. If you're serious about staying strong, sharp, and independent as you age, sardines deserve a spot on your plate. And there are more of these powerful foods coming up, so keep watching. Number 7, Atlantic mackerel, not king. Energy, immunity, and mood in one fish. Let's dive into a fish that doesn't get enough credit, Atlantic mackerel. Not to be confused with its toxic cousin, king mackerel, this smaller species is a nutritional powerhouse. If you're over 60 and looking for a simple way to boost your energy, protect your heart, and sharpen your mind, this fish checks all the boxes. First, let's talk about vitamin B12. Atlantic mackerel is one of the richest natural sources you can find. B12 is essential for keeping your nerves healthy, producing red blood cells, and supporting mental clarity. As we age, our bodies absorb B12 less efficiently, which can lead to fatigue, memory issues, and even mood swings. One serving of Atlantic mackerel gives you more than your full daily requirement, and then some. Now add in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These support brain function, lower inflammation, and help regulate blood pressure. The American Heart Association has long recommended omega-3s to reduce the risk of heart disease, and Atlantic mackerel delivers them in high amounts, without the mercury risk found in larger fish. But here's where it gets really interesting. Atlantic mackerel also contains selenium, a mineral that protects your cells from oxidative damage, and CoQ10, a compound that fuels your cell's energy factories called mitochondria. CoQ10 levels drop as we age, and without it you may feel tired, mentally foggy, or even experience muscle weakness. Mackerel helps replenish it naturally. I had a patient, 74 years old, who struggled with afternoon crashes and a general lack of motivation. We ran labs, nothing major came up, but his diet was low in B12, selenium, and omega-3s. Once we added Atlantic mackerel to his weekly routine, he noticed a significant difference in his energy and focus within a month. No stimulants, no energy drinks, just real food, doing what it's supposed to do. But here's the warning. Do not confuse Atlantic mackerel with king mackerel. King mackerel is much larger and often loaded with mercury, which can harm your brain and nervous system over time. Always look for labels like Atlantic or North Atlantic mackerel to be sure. In short, this is a low-cost, high-impact food that can support everything from your heart to your mental sharpness. Keep watching because we still have more must-eat seafoods to explore. Number 8, Alaskan cod light, clean protein that doesn't overload the body. Let's talk about a fish that's gentle on your body but powerful in what it gives you, Alaskan cod. If you're over 60 and looking for a clean, no-fuss source of protein that won't leave you feeling heavy or bloated, cod may be exactly what your body needs. As we age, digestion naturally slows down. You may notice that heavy meals sit in your stomach longer, or that red meat just doesn't feel the same anymore. That's because your stomach produces less acid and fewer digestive enzymes, making it harder to break down tough proteins. This is where Alaskan cod shines. It's a lean, light, and easily digestible protein that doesn't stress your system. You feel nourished, not weighed down. What makes Alaskan cod stand out is not just how easy it is to digest, but what it does for your muscles. After 60, you begin to lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia, unless you actively work against it. Protein becomes more important than ever, and cod delivers it without the extra fat or strain on your kidneys that often comes from red meat. A single serving of cod gives you about 20 grams of high-quality protein, plus essential amino acids your body needs to repair and maintain muscle. But that's not all. Cod is rich in vitamin B12, iodine, and selenium, nutrients that support thyroid function, brain health, and metabolism. It's also naturally low in mercury, especially when it's wild-caught from Alaskan waters. That means you get the benefits of seafood without the risks that come with bigger, oilier fish. I had a patient, 69 years old, who loved steak but always felt sluggish afterward. When we swapped his red meat dinners for grilled Alaskan cod twice a week, he noticed improved digestion, better energy, and even a few pounds lost without trying. His kidney function also improved slightly, which his doctor credited to the lower protein load on his system. Cod is mild in taste, making it perfect for sensitive palates or anyone tired of overly fishy flavors. Bake it, grill it, or steam it, whatever works for you. So if you're trying to stay strong, energized, and easy on your digestion, Alaskan cod is a smart addition to your weekly meals. And we're not done yet. Keep watching for more seafoods that truly support your health after 60. Additionally, 4 truth bombs seniors need to know. Number 9, healthy looking. Seafood can still be dangerous. Let's get one thing straight. How seafood looks can be very deceiving. You might walk into a store, see a piece of fish that's glossy, bright pink, and looks fresh enough to melt in your mouth. But here's the truth. That shiny appearance could be a carefully engineered illusion, not a sign of quality. And if you're over 60, this is something you absolutely need to know. Many seafood suppliers use carbon monoxide gas to treat fish, especially tuna, swordfish, and some types of tilapia. Why? Because it preserves the color. It locks in that bright red or pink hue, even if the fish is old, poorly stored, or beginning to break down. This process does nothing to preserve freshness, but it makes the fish look fresh, which is exactly what they want you to believe. The real danger here is that carbon monoxide-treated fish doesn't smell bad, even when it's spoiled. That's a problem, especially for older adults. Your sense of smell naturally weakens with age, so you may not pick up on the usual warning signs that something's off. You might end up cooking and eating fish that looks perfect, but could make you seriously ill. I had a patient, 66 years old, who bought fresh tuna from a discount grocery store. It looked great, no smell, no discoloration. But within hours of eating it, he had food poisoning that landed him in urgent care. He later learned the fish had been sitting in cold storage for weeks, treated with gas to look fresh. This isn't rare. According to the FDA, carbon monoxide-treated fish is legal in some countries, including the United States, although it is banned in others due to food safety concerns. But that doesn't mean it's safe for everyone, especially not for seniors with slower digestion, weaker immune systems, or other health issues. So how do you protect yourself? Trust the source, not the look. Buy from reputable fish markets, ask if the fish is treated, and whenever possible, choose wild-caught fish that's flash frozen at sea. Frozen fish, when handled properly, is often fresher and safer than what's sitting behind the glass at your supermarket. Freshness is not about color. It's about how and where the fish was handled. Stay sharp, ask questions, and don't let appearances fool you. There's more to seafood safety than meets the eye. Keep watching, we have more eye-openers coming. Number 10. Your gut can't handle the same fish at 60 as it did at 30. Let me tell you something that most people never stop to consider. Your gut at 60 is not the same gut you had at 30. You may have eaten just about anything back then. Fried catfish, grilled eel, rich seafood stews, and felt completely fine. But now, even a small plate of certain fish can leave you feeling bloated, gassy, or reaching for antacids. That's not in your head, it's your body changing with time. As you age, one of the first things that begins to slow down is stomach acid production. That acid is crucial for breaking down proteins and absorbing key nutrients like vitamin B12 and iron. When your acid levels drop, digestion becomes sluggish. That means heavier or fattier seafood like eel, catfish, or even some types of fried fish can sit in your stomach like a rock. It can lead to indigestion, reflux, bloating, or that uncomfortable feeling of fullness that just doesn't go away. I once had a patient in her early 70s who loved grilled catfish. She had been eating it her whole life, but recently she started experiencing heartburn and tightness in her chest after dinner. We ran tests. No major problems showed up. But when we adjusted her diet and replaced the catfish with lighter, leaner seafood like cod and sardines, her symptoms disappeared. Her gut simply couldn't keep up with the heavier stuff anymore. It's not just about fat content. Some dense fish also take longer to digest and can ferment in the stomach when not broken down properly. That fermentation creates gas, pressure, and discomfort. This is even more pronounced if you're on medications that reduce stomach acid like proton pump inhibitors or antacids. The key is to listen to your body. If a fish that used to work for you now leaves you feeling uncomfortable, don't ignore it. What's technically healthy isn't always healthy for you. Choose seafood that's easier to digest. Wild salmon, Alaskan cod, sardines, or trout. These are gentle on your stomach and still packed with the nutrients your body needs. Aging doesn't mean giving up on good food. It just means being smarter about how you nourish yourself. Pay attention to how you feel after each meal. Your gut is talking to you. Learn to listen and you'll feel better, longer. More helpful tips are coming, so don't miss what's next. Number 11. You must rotate seafood to avoid nutrient imbalances. Let's clear up a common misunderstanding. Eating the same healthy fish over and over again is not always a good thing. In fact, if you're over 60, doing that could quietly create nutrient imbalances that affect everything from your thyroid to your joints. Yes, even if that fish is salmon. Now, don't get me wrong, wild salmon is fantastic. It's rich in omega-3, vitamin D, and protein. But here's the problem. Too much of any one food, even a healthy one, can throw your body out of balance. And as you get older, your body has a harder time regulating those shifts. For example, salmon is high in omega-3 fatty acids. That's great for reducing inflammation, but if you're eating large amounts of it several times a week without variety, your blood can become too thin. You may bruise more easily or have trouble with clotting, especially if you're on medications like blood thinners. Also, overdoing omega-3s can upset the balance with omega-6s, which your body still needs in small amounts. Another concern is trace minerals. Fish like tuna and sardines are high in selenium, which is essential in small doses but toxic if it builds up too much. Shellfish like shrimp and haddock can contain high levels of iodine, which supports your thyroid, but too much can actually disrupt thyroid function, especially in seniors with already sensitive glands. I had a patient in his late 60s who swore by salmon. He ate it 5 days a week for years. Eventually, he started experiencing fatigue, dizziness, and minor nosebleeds. Blood work revealed slightly low platelet function and excess omega-3 in his system. When we adjusted his seafood intake to include other low-mercury fish like cod, trout, and sardines, his symptoms faded. Here's what I tell every senior: diversity is your safety net. Your body now needs more balance, not just more of one nutrient. Rotate your seafood choices. Mix wild salmon with sardines, mackerel, trout, cod, and shellfish from trusted sources. You'll get a broader spectrum of nutrients and avoid the risk of overload. Eating healthy isn't just about what you eat, it's also about how often and how varied. Your body thrives on variety. Keep that in mind as we explore more essential tips to help you eat smarter and age stronger. Stay with me. In final words, let me be honest with you, as your body gets older, it becomes less forgiving. The foods you could enjoy freely in your 30s or 40s might now quietly stress your heart, your brain, your joints, and your gut. Seafood is no exception. Yes, it can be one of the healthiest foods on your plate, but only if you're choosing the right kinds. At this stage of life, your body works harder to digest, detox, and absorb nutrients. So eating the wrong seafood, like fish high in mercury or overloaded with salt, can slowly chip away at your health without making a big scene. You may notice your memory feels a little foggier, your joints ache more than usual, or maybe your blood pressure creeps up even though your diet seems healthy. I've seen it happen with many older patients who thought they were doing everything right. That's why this video matters. We're breaking down not just what looks good on the outside, but what actually helps your body function better on the inside. I'll walk you through the 4 worst seafoods you should avoid completely, and the 4 best ones your body will actually thank you for. This is not about being perfect or giving up foods you love. It's about understanding how to make better choices so you feel better every day. Your energy, your mood, your memory, it all starts with what you put on your plate. So watch the video through to the end. Let's help you eat smarter, not harder. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in our next exploration.